All right, good morning. Greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Lions Talk Live. You know, it's Monday. It's one day closer to the start of a training camp, and we've got, I think, some compelling arguments to be made today about why Terrion Arnold might not be your average NFL defensive back. I think he's got some real possibilities to jump out, have an impact year, and not just a marginal impact year. I think he really could have some sort of impact where he is potentially the defensive rookie of the year. Let that sink in. Let that settle in. You know, the Lions organization, you've had some real strong players at the position over its illustrious history. You've had Ray Crockett. You've had, Darius Slay. You've had Lem Barney, Night Train Lane. I mean, you've had some really good guys come in and play in the secondary for this franchise. And Arnold potentially could be among them. He could end up, when it's all said and done, being, one of the better players. I'm not going to say he's going to be the best of all time or anything like that, but I think he could be in the conversation for that when his career is done. And there's a lot of compelling evidence already you're seeing out of him, how he vocalizes himself, how he conducts himself, his attention to detail, watching him get in and out of breaks when covering wide receivers on patterns. There's going to be learning curves. There's going to be adjustments. He's going to make tons of rookie mistakes. He's going to get got. Let's face it, all cornerbacks do. I don't care if you're Deion Sanders or whoever else. At some point, somebody's going to get one up on you. With that all being said, I do think there's a reason for Lions fans to be out there and believe that Terrion Arnold is going to be an impact player. I'm not going to say he's going to be cornerback one, at least not at the start of the season, but I do believe over the course of the season, there is every bit of evidence out there to suggest that Terrion Arnold will end up making multiple plays and be a player of interest for this franchise for a long time to come. All right, a couple things before we get into the show. Just the normal stuff that we do every morning. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Making that push to get to 6,800 subs in. I don't know, man. We're like 80, 70 or something like that away, somewhere in that vicinity. Also, if you enjoyed the video and everything we do on the channel, please consider hitting that thumbs up button. As you guys know, likes, thumbs up, whatever you want to call it, help the channel get out there to more and more people who haven't discovered it. So if you would be so kind, take a second of time and hit that thumbs up button. Last but not least, I am a realtor when I'm not doing YouTube or coaching or scouting or whatever. I'm a realtor, have been for a incredibly long time. I'm a Zillow Premier agent. What does that mean? I mean, Zillow has identified me as one of the top agents in the state of Michigan. And when you make a call on a Zillow property, they send you over to someone like me, someone who's graded out in the top, whatever it is, 5 or 10%, and send you over to me so you make sure that you get taken care of. So if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the state of Michigan, give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. All right, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's go on and get into the details of today's video. So I want to ask you guys, what are your expectations for Terrion Arnold? What are your expectations for Ernest Reichshaw? Both these guys were brought in to help probably the biggest weakness on last year's team, and that is the secondary. We all get it. Hey, the guys played their butts off last year. They did some good things, but it was perhaps the weakest portion of the team. But is it now becoming one of the strengths? Is Terrion Arnold going to be cornerback number 1, number 2, number 3? Let me know your thoughts. But I'm making the argument here today that he will be a front runner for Defensive Rookie of the Year. It is my opinion he's got the ability to hit. He's got the ability to react. He's got the ability to find the ball, locate it while it's in the air. That's not an easy thing to do. Most people, in my opinion, once you hit the NFL level, can it get a little bit better as far as the instincts for locating and finding the ball, knowing when to turn, basically, when you're covering somebody in the route? Yes, it can. But I think it's very marginal. He already does that at a very good level. You see his natural instincts when he's covering people in OTAs or college, whatever metrics you want to use. I think he's going to be able to get interceptions that some of the other guys in past seasons weren't able to get under Aaron Glenn just because they don't have those instincts. It's no disrespect to them. You either have it or you don't, in my opinion. He can cover people quickly when they get in and out of routes. And I get one of the first OTAs, I don't even remember who the tight end was, got him on a drag route, then, went up the sidelines, turning it into a fly, and Arnold picked it off. In my opinion, it was a bad throw. But, hey, maybe for a good highlight reel because the rookie got an interception. I don't think some of his initial footwork was the greatest on that, but over OTAs, you could see a steady improvement. I've often said as a coach on this show that all I want to see as a coach is steady improvement. You started here, you keep trending upwards. The trend is your friend. I will say this, he didn't just trend up a little bit, in my opinion. He trended up noticeably better. I think when he gets into I don't think he'll play in the preseason game, but when he gets in the regular season games, we should see the same trajectory for him. Now, the question is, will he be an opening day starter? I believe yes, but we'll have to wait and see. There are a lot of good cornerbacks on this team and guys that are going to be veterans that have some experience on them. They're going to be used to the physicality of the game. Some of the other nuances as far as how to negotiate, screens or wide receiver screens or bubble wraps or, just anything like that takes people time to get used to at the NFL level. How to switch, all those things he's going to have to learn to do quickly, especially in as aggressive defenses I think Aaron Glenn's going to run. He's going to have to do it or he's going to give up some big plays. And once you start giving up big plays, you worry about confidence. Arnold, I think, has tons of confidence, so I don't anticipate that being a problem. I also think they're going to kind of baby all the rookies along as absolutely they feel like they're ready to go. But you've heard me talk enough. Let's see what you guys have to say about Arnold. I think, yes, he is going to be a defensive rookie of the year candidate. I will say right now, I think he's got the potential to get somewhere between 3 and 5 interceptions this year. Don't ask me on tackles, man, because that's going to be a tough one to gauge, but I think he'll make an impressive rookie campaign. All right, JDC, good morning all. Good morning to you, too. How you doing? All right, let's see. Mike the Marine, howdy, Dan, Lions Favo. Do or die season. Woo! And good morning to you, Gunny. Hopefully you've had a great weekend and refreshed and ready for the week ahead. All right, Detroit D, greetings, salutations, everyone. Back at you. Hopefully you are having a good one, and it's going to be a good week for you. Robert Yankee, greetings and salutations. Back at you, Robert. Detroit D, I'm waiting on my agent zero jersey. Ordered it draft day. Yeah, ordered it day after the draft. Yeah, I think there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be buying that jersey a ton this year because I do think he's going to make some plays. I think he could make some house calls. You saw last year, especially in the playoffs, there were a lot of opportunities for the cornerbacks and such, the secondary to make plays, jump on some passes. It's an unfortunate, they were there, they just hold on. Multitude of reasons. I don't think that's going to be nearly the case with Terrion Arnold. I think he's going to hold on and he's going to take some back for some yards. So now if you get some deflections as well, some tip passes, some hit quarterbacks as they're throwing, I think Arnold might he won't be the only one in the secondary, but I think he's going to be one of the ones that makes some of the bigger amount of plays. All right, Moonscar, it's the age of Terrion. I like that, man. Age of Terrion. Do crew assemble! Exclamation points. Morning all. Yeah, I'd say you're right. I think him, Rakestraw, the young secondary that we have, and not just those two, but you got Iffy, you got Kirby, you got Brian Branch. You got a lot of dudes back there that don't have a ton of years on them. It's got a lot of tread left on those tires, and I think they're coming after it. I think Arnold is going to be one of the beneficiaries of it. And as much blitzing as I think we're going to be putting on, as well as he covers the immediate slants or the quick slants or cut ins, I think he's going to be able to jump a lot of those routes because he does have those instincts. I think he can locate the ball. And I do love his wingspan, especially when covering up quick routes. It is very possible. I think you could see him have a very, very strong season. All right, Stephanie, good morning, boys! Exclamation point. Who's ready for the week to get going? Question mark. LOL, not me. I hope TA ends up being one of the great ones for us. Yes, one of the greats for us. Yes, I think, I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid or anything, or, speak him into being the greatest of all time. Hopefully he is. I mean, that would be great. But I think when you watch his hips, when you watch his ability to negotiate routes, when like I said, locate the ball, just a lot of things that are tougher for cornerbacks to learn. He's already got a lot of that down. I know people made, some questions about his 40 time, and it's not off the charts, but 4.5 isn't like you're dragging weights behind you. You can go. Now, I will also say with the 40 times, most of us probably are aware of this. I'm sure you guys all are. There's your sprinting time, and then there's your game time. Some guys just play much faster once that ball's in the air, once they're in games and not thinking about it. That's where I think some guys, for whatever reasons, they do slow down. I know I've used on the channel before, Jerry Rice. He ran at the combine or whatever, like a 4.7 something or whatever when he was getting ready to get drafted, as a pro day and such. I think most people would say he's a lot faster than a 4.74 or whatever it was. I mean, something like that. And there are just other guys like it. Barry Sanders, I think his 40 time was pretty good, but also when he got in the game, it got better. And he's not the only one by any means that goes through that. So you can make what you want about the numbers, but I think if our biggest worry about Arnold was his speed, I think we should probably put that to rest. And not saying that you said that, Stephanie. I'm just saying I think that's probably what the national media or other people biggest takeaway from him was. All right, Hatman, good morning, Dan, the new crew. Woo! Good morning, Hatman. Hopefully having a great one. Frank the Tank, good morning to all. Woo! Go Lions, 1,000%. And good morning, Frank. Michael, hey, good morning, all. So, Coach, what is the situation with TA and his contract? How much can he make on his first year? Well, at this point, it's been, a decade or so now. All the picks are scaled and graded, scaled. So he's in a pretty tight window, like every draft pick. It's not like you can really do a ton of negotiating to figure out, hey, I'm going to get vastly more or whatever. It's pretty set in stone. I think he'll sign him probably in the next week or two, so not a big deal. What his contract numbers end up being fully, I don't know off the top of my noggin what at the number 24 pick he's slotted to get, but it's probably going to be pretty decent. I probably wouldn't say no to it. How about that? All right, Clark, greetings, salutations, everyone of the Duke crew. With as much pressure as I feel this defense will put on other teams, I do think Terrion will have a great opportunity to make some plays and gain notice. Yeah, 100%. I think let's start with this. Is he going to play a lot? I think the answer is yes. Is he going to be on a team that probably, more than likely, is going to have one of the league's best records? Yes, I think that's also true. I also believe, like you're pointing out, Clark, that when you have as much pressure getting in the quarterback's face, and we are going to face some rookies this year, there is some potential for some tip passes, some late passes, just maybe only a foot or two behind the receiver, but guess who's right behind the receiver? The defensive back. And as well as Arnold covers in man-to-man, especially press man-to-man, I think there's going to be some real possibilities for him, Davis, Rakestraw, Kirby, Iffy, everybody who's going to be in that back end to get some picks and make some plays. I think Arnold, just because of his instincts to be able to locate the ball and secure the ball, I think he's going to make more than a few. All right, Frank the Tank from the east side. Who's got it better than Detroit Lions fans? Nobody. Go Lions. I agree with that. I think when the season's all over, there's going to be a whole lot of us chanting that at the Super Bowl. All right, Joseph, out on the road today, saw a deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. All right, well, hey, enjoy it, and hopefully you're having a good time on the road there, Joseph. All right, Frank the Tank, this team is going to be so much fun to watch. They are going to be so much better than last year, and they were so good last year. I expect Jared Goff to have a huge year. Go Lions. I agree. I think the emergence of the defense means you're going to get more opportunities for the offense. I think the offense is going to put up more points than last year, just because you're going to look at the growth of Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're going to look at the growth of, Jameson Williams. I think Jared Goff, hey, he's probably still, I don't think he's quite hit his crescendo yet. I think he's still going to get marginally better in here and there and other things. But Gibbs, Montgomery, you look at all the weapons, Sam Laporta, you look at all the weapons and how young they all are. I think, yes, they're going to get much better, which means the defense, with its improvement, they're going to give them more opportunities. The offense, since they're probably going to score, they're going to have some methodical drives, but they're also going to have some big play drives. Let's be honest, they're going to be better in that regards than they were even a year ago. So when all that's said and done, I think this team really could put up some huge numbers, not just on the defensive side, getting sacks, tackles or forcing turnovers, but I think the offense is going to score a lot. And one will be a symbiotic relationship. One's going to help the other. They're going to fuel off each other. I think it's going to be just a crazy good year for the Lions, especially I know when I did, or Dan O'Damas did the predictions, I picked a lot, or Dan O'Damas predicted a lot of high 30s, even low 40-point games to start the year, just because I think we've got a huge advantage over a lot of those teams with all of our coordinators being back, well, virtually the entire team being back other than some rookies and a couple additions here and there. I think we're going to be able to jump out of the gates and get a lot of teams early in the season. All right, Frank the Tank, I believe in Brand Holmes. I believe in Dan Campbell, and I cannot forget Sheila. All of fans need to enjoy it. Yes, go Lions. Enjoy the season, man. Record it. Do whatever you want to do. But I think looking back, this is going to be one historic year, not just in the NFL, but for this franchise. All right, Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Sympathy and understanding will only get you so far. A new age dawns. I see Super Bowl. Woo! And yes, I think it is a new age for the Detroit Lions. I agree with you, Bo. I think what we're all experiencing, the expectations for this franchise, it's unlike anything anybody alive other than those of us, the few of us who were around to see like the 1950s when we were a dominant franchise. This is going to be unlike anything we've experienced before. What we did last year, the season before, this year, probably in the next couple of seasons, it is a new age of Detroit Lions dominance, and just let that roll off your tongue. Eddie, good morning, everybody. Arnold and Wingo are my bets to have strong rookie seasons. Hoping I'm right. I think everybody is hoping you're right. Wingo, I almost thought about doing today's video on him, so maybe I'll just do it tomorrow. But throughout training camp, I know I did the video, not training camp, OTAs, sorry. Throughout OTAs, you saw steady improvement. You heard a lot of commentary about him. The first couple days, I know I talked to you guys about rookie camp and such, but it just keeps continuing. This kid, he might end up being a lot more than anybody would have guessed when they drafted him. And kudos to the Lions coaching staff, kudos to Wingo, kudos to all involved, because you know what? He sounds like he's going to make a push to do something on this defense sooner versus later. And that's going to be the same with, I believe Arnold. And yes, they'll get his contract signed. I'm not worried about that. I think Rakestraw will be another one on the defensive side. As far as the rookie class is going to have a real good opportunity. His big thing, we all know it. He's got to stay healthy. He's got some injuries in college and such. But you know what? Let the coaching staff worry about that. Same with the training staff. Let them put him in the best position to succeed. And I think they're going to do that. All right. Just say, K, good morning, Duke Crew! Exclamation point. Coach, let me ask you flat out. If you could have taken Mitchell or Arnold, who would you have taken and why? Whew. You put me on the spot there, man. I really like Mitchell, but I really like Mitchell because of his athleticism. I mean, his speed, his agility, things like that, you can't teach. It's sort of like when talking about Manu. Why did I like the selection? You can't teach, 6'8". You can't. I mean, obviously, if you look at me, if you guys ever get an opportunity to meet me, I can't teach height, man. I've tried all my life. It ain't happening. You can't teach the size and mass. But what I will say is, while that's true with Mitchell, and there's definitely something to be said there, you can also say, and it probably gets lost in the shuffle a lot, especially since we're such a culture in the NFL or college sports where we're always looking at the unmeasurables, the speed time, or the measurables, I should say, the speed time, the vertical jump, the 3 shuttle hurdle, whatever it is, you're going to pay attention to all those because we can gauge those. We can put a number on it and say, man, look at him historically, how fast he is or how high he jumps or how quick he twitches or whatever. With Arnold, his measurables are very, very good. They are not Mitchell's, but what he does have that Mitchell doesn't have, in my opinion, is the stuff that just gets lost in the shuffle because there's no way to really equate it. Your eyes have to see it. And you watch him getting in and out of breaks and keeping up with receivers. He's vastly superior than Mitchell in that regard. His ability to locate the ball. So just say his ability to watch the receiver. And when the receiver starts innately bringing their hands up, that triggers something in Arnold. And Terrion just goes and locates the ball. He does that incredibly well for a rookie cornerback coming into his first year. So I would say, to me, I think if you're looking for somebody who's going to cover man-to-man and has the body mass up top to really press, Arnold, without a question, is the better guy. Now, Mitchell has the speed. And yes, again, you're going to be locked down on the speed like everybody else. But when you watch him cover people that get in and out of breaks quickly in college, he struggles with that. My big worry with him, and he may end up being the greatest cornerback of all time, but my biggest worry with him is when you watch in the MAC, where he comes from, his ability to keep up with those guys. Some of those guys are not some of the best receivers in college football. And he struggled with some of those guys in that regard. I'm not going to say covering him. He was fine. But the quick outs, the in-out routes, negotiating screens and getting through it, that's where I thought he struggled compared to Arnold. And not like he was horrible at it, just not at Arnold's level. And again, now you add in the ability to locate the ball in the air and make a play on it. That's where I think Arnold makes a big jump. So in both guys, I don't think either one's a wrong pick or a bad pick. I think for what the Lions probably are going to do more often than not on defense. And if you want somebody who's going to step in quicker to make impact, Arnold would have been the better pick. Now, if you're just going to use somebody to blitz or whatever, or do a lot of different zone coverages and break on passes, then it might have been Mitchell. But again, for what Detroit does, I think TA was the best one. All right, Phil, and great question, by the way, Kay. Phil, greetings, salutations to the new crew. Back at you, Philly. Hopefully having a great morning. How's the guitar coming? All right, France, good evening, all. Personally, I liked everything we've seen out of Arnold so far. Terrion feels like he is more mature than his age. I think he's going to shine for us. Yeah, I would say if you listen to him talk, you take out the draft night and stuff, because that's just a dude celebrating. Hey, big moment. I get it. But I did think he handled that very, very well. But when you hear him talking to reporters, to the media, whoever, the cameras, I think, yes, he does not sound like a rookie in the NFL. He sounds very mature, very focused, very driven, alpha personality type with some analytical aspects to him. So I think he's going to be a real strong player for this team for a long time. All right, Patrick, greetings, salutations. If Arnold could be that impactful as a rookie for the Lions, I think he'll be the steal of the century for where the Lions drafted him. Yeah, and we all get it. There was a huge rush on offensive players. I don't remember. The first defensive player was in round 8, I think, and that's a joke, obviously, but the Lions really, and they weren't the only ones, but the Lions, for our selfish considerations, were a huge winner about the byproduct of so much of the league going focused on the offense. And I don't think that's changing anytime soon, unless you're just a dang dominant defensive player. I think you're seeing the trend being established for the next several years at least. Teams are going to draft offense because, you know what, in this league, use the Lions as an example. If you have an offense, you have a chance. As not strong as that defense was a year ago, you had enough athletes out there to just cause turnovers. And I know we talked about it before, so I won't do a deep dive on it. But I think the Lions really did get about as perfect a draft as you could in the first round. And the fact that you're able to get him in the first, Rakestraw in the second, etc. So, yeah, I agree with you, Patrick, 1,000%. He could end up being one of the bigger steals. All right, Susan, Coach Dan, I have a few questions for you if you have time. My son wants to start a YouTube channel. Do you have any advice I could share with him? Biggest thing is make the first step. Get going. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to, like everything in life, if you're worried about what you can't do or what you don't have an answer for, that's going to keep you from going forward. So here's what I would tell him, same as anybody I coach. You put one foot in front of the other. Just keep going forward. Make your mistakes, learn from them, move forward, understand. And I don't know what genre he's going to make videos on, but there's a lot of haters in this world. And I don't care if you're in print media, video media, whatever else in life. You're just some guy walking down the street. Somebody's going to critique you. They're going to criticize you. They're probably going to get personal about it too. Pay them no mind, because they're probably just, in my experience, the people that throw the stones are the people that wish they were doing what you were doing. They just won't take that first step forward. Either that, or some of it is just human nature. Unfortunately, especially here, I would say on something like YouTube, where people just, for whatever reason, they want to throw a stone at you to make themselves feel better about themselves. So don't let it get to him. And hopefully he doesn't experience any of that, but it will happen. And it doesn't bother me. I find it comical, but maybe it's the Mountain Dew in me. But I do know a couple of YouTubers who just do Lions content, talking to them. You can see where sometimes people get so personal with it, attacking the YouTuber, that it has an emotional effect on them. And I won't name names, but I know a couple of them that I've talked to. I'm sure you guys have watched them too, where it does have an accumulative effect. Most people are doing this for fun. There's really only one that I know in the Lions community who does it for a living. And the fact that people attack him so religiously, it's kind of sad, man. But give him some support, help him out, and tell him to go enjoy it. It can be very rewarding. All right, Rocky, good morning, all. Hopefully we got our Sauce for a long time to come. Yes, that would be awesome if we got our Sauce Gardner out of Arnold. That would be great. And good morning, Rock. Lions fan number 1, good morning, gang. I think Arnold will be a top 10 cornerback in year 1. Wow. If he does that, yes, he probably is going to win defensive rookie of the year. And yeah, he will be a cornerstone of this defense for a long time to come. Good morning, Lions fan. Moonscar, the offense will be in the Superdome, and Jupiter will align with Mars. I'll go with all the above. It will be allowed. All right, Steve Rogers, good morning, everyone in the chat that drinks the dew, and the captain is reporting. Good morning, Cap, and have a great one. Dave, we have 4 possible Rookie of the Year candidates. All right, Dave, who are your 4? That I will be interested in hearing. All right, Jedi, good greetings, salutations, all back at you. Anthony, good morning, Duke Crew. Same to you, Anthony. Thank you for all you always do for the channel. It's always appreciated, my friend. All right, Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. What's good with Arnold is everything. This young man is going to bring it. Yeah, I agree. He's going to make an impact on this defense. I have zero doubt about that. So we think alike. And good morning. Michael, greetings, salutations, Coach and Duke Crew, exclamation points, Super Bowl bus, exclamation points, one pride. Woo, woo! Good morning, Michael. Hopefully you're having a great morning, my friend. And hey, thanks for being part of it. 100%. Yes. All right, Anthony. Arnold called Brad during the draft and told him to come get him. Yes. He knows Lions are going to do something special, and what better way to start his career? Yeah, word did get out there. Yeah, he made a call, try to go up and get Brad Holmes to come get him. We've heard from Brad Holmes that he was making calls to move up potentially to around 12 to 15 to 17, and then obviously 24. Were all those attempted moves ups for Terrion Arnold? Could be. We'll probably not know about that anytime soon, but what we do know is the Lions were on the phones trying to make trades and did get Arnold. So they saw real value in him, and I think we're going to get a huge return on that investment. Joseph, so Vaki is a quick study and does his homework. Yes, it sounds like he's got quite the ritual when it comes to going through things, pre-game, post-game, getting prepared during the week. And that's one of the things the Lions were drawn to is just his attention to detail. I think, I've told you guys during the day of the draft, I knew exactly who he was because he beat the bejesus out of USC. And hey, I think he's going to have a strong season, probably a strong career, more than most people probably were expecting out of him. But his attention to detail is off the charts. All right, let's see. 313, man. Good morning, Do and crew and coach. Back at you. Hopefully, an outstanding one. Joseph, good morning, coach and Do crew! Exclamation points. I can't wait to see them all play together. As I say, none of us can. Yeah, we're less than 2 months away from it happening, man. From everything at least starting, not the regular season games, but for the season to start. And yeah, it's getting closer with every day. All right, Detroit Sports Talk. Woo! Lions to the Super Bowl. I agree. Lions have a great opportunity this year. I think for the next couple of years of making a move, getting after it. And you know what? Go get it. You got your window. You got your opportunity. It's time to bring it home. All right, Joseph. Lem, the original 20. Yes, Lem Barney. Great one, by the way. Great one. All right, Anthony, remember Arnold played with Branch. He did. And they both have played safety. They both played corner. They're going to be rotating all over the field. And I think that's going to be basically the kudos or whatever you want to say, the formula for this secondary. I think you're going to see a lot of guys move from safety to corner, outside, inside, etc. You've got a lot of leeway with the vast majority of the guys that are going to play in the secondary. All right, Gary, good morning, Duke Crew, and back at you, Gary. 9 drinks. Good morning, Duke Crew. Can't wait for this to be realistic. Yeah, for this to be realistic, I think it's going to be, man. I think, again, now, sometimes the X's and O's put the player in the better position to make plays. I think that's going to be very true with a couple of our players this year. I do believe Arnold is going to be a beneficiary. I mean, he'd play, I think, very well in a number of different systems. I think he's going to play better than a little good or whatever you want to say. I think he's going to play pretty dang good because of the system we're going to be putting him in. And I think that system is going to push him towards Rookie of the Year. He might have a legendary rookie campaign. All right, Detroit. Woo! Our of the rookie class who will stand out besides the cornerbacks. Mine is Wingo. It does seem like more and more people are jumping on the Wingo bandwagon. So, Makai, hey, I think he understands he has an opportunity here to not just get a few snaps, not just to make the roster, but to push himself up the roster depth chart. And it's a long way from OTAs to preseason. It's a long way, man, just the training camp. So it's going to be a whole lot different when you get guys out there in the pads and you get into the grind of things. But so far, it does sound like all reports continue to corroborate from rookie camp to OTAs. The trend is your friend. And you know what? He's trending upwards in the right direction. Joseph, I swear, Coach, it doesn't look like you are a man in your 50s. Looks like you're in your 20s. I'll take that, and I'll allow that. I think some of it, though, is the light. Like, I don't know if I can step out of it. But, I don't know, man. I'll take all the compliments, and thank you. I've never turned down a compliment. Ever. Ken, good morning, Dan, the Duke crew. Exclamation point. Thanks. Thank you for all you do. Hey, I like how you got to do there. Let's go Lions, Superdome, or Butts. Ban the bus. Woo! All the above, Ken. And good morning to you. Hopefully you're having a great one. Courtney, TA, ready for, quote, prime time. Woo! Yeah, prime time. Terrion Arnold. I'll take that. I think he is going to be a real strong rookie for this team. And I kind of already said it, so I don't want to go in length. All right. What do you do? For a living? I'm a realtor, a day trader, and I guess basketball coach / scout. So I've coached lots of different sports, including football and volleyball and soccer. But right now I'm just doing basketball. So there you go. Now you know. And knowing is half the battle, said G.I. Joe. All right, Bo, I just hit Circle K. Used to be holiday. No Mountain Dew. What? Wait, 2 minutes walk. Woo! Yeah, I love the K. As you guys probably all know, or anybody who's watched this channel for a hot minute. I cannot imagine going without the Circle K. And let me tell you, there is a vast difference between Shell or every other station I've stopped at, their Mountain Dew, and Circle K's. So Circle K's got the secret formula, I think. All right, Joseph, my expectations is they're going to shut teams down with the back secondary. Yeah, I think that front seven is going to do their job, and that secondary is going to benefit a lot from it. So we think alike. Let's go. I went to a Circle K last Friday, and they didn't even have fountain pop available. So disappointed. Boy, you must have went to the one in Otsego, Michigan then, because they've been out for something's been wrong with their Polar Pop machine for like a week or something. And I've stopped by there a couple times when, doing showings and stuff like that on houses. And yeah, it's always bumming when I pull into that driveway there and they go, yeah, it's still out, man. I'm like, what are you guys doing, man? Come on. All right. Yada, yada, badass. What up, though, coach? Exclamation point. What up to you? Yada, yada. I wanted to say Arnold going to be number one cornerback as a rookie, but I wouldn't be shocked if become number one cornerback in year 2 or 3. Woo, woo, woo. And yes, I agree with that. I think he's probably this year as a rookie, he's going to be cornerback 2 or the other opposite outside. Whether or not they allow him to travel, I'm assuming since we're playing man, they will. But who knows? Maybe they'll switch some things up. But yeah, I'm with you. I'd bring him along slowly and work him into it. And just for you, I got to add some more of those. All right, Moonscar. Keeping those rookies fresh for the long haul in the NFL season is also key. Yeah, because their bodies are not used to the length of a season that you're seeing. Although I guess as college football gets longer and longer, maybe a few of them are going to start adjusting to it. But I think you're going to see them all rotate in. But we've got so much depth on this team. Every position should be able to be rotated. I really do kind of hope that they rotate the offensive line like every series. Let one guy out, just keep him fresher over the course of the season. Whether or not they're going to do that, I don't know. But I'd probably be more apt to rotate the interior offensive linemen than the tackles. All right, let's see, Bo. I did show off my Lions Talk Live hoodie. 1,000 Mannix on the radio. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the hoodie. And yes, give Jen some props and praise for that because you know what? She's always on me about that. LionsTalkLive.com. Shameless plug. All right. All right. Miles Marker, good morning. Good morning to you too. Phil, what about Iffy, Branch, Kirby? What's their role going to be? I think it's going to be studs. I think they're all going to jump on out. Although I do anticipate there are going to be times when you see Kirby, Branch, and Iffy off the field just because I do believe they're going to rotate so many guys in the secondary. You're going to see Davis, sit out a drive, Terrion sit out drives. I think we've got so much depth. You're going to rotate to keep people fresh over the course of the whole season. So, yada, yada, what do you got? One more thing about Arnold going to be a starter. It might be week 1, but before the season ends, he will start. Yeah, I can totally see where maybe the first week or 2 of the season, he's not starting, but he does eventually assume that role. Yeah, it comes down to how he performs in training camp. And let's also be fair, there are a lot of guys on that team that want to start. They want their career to keep going and advancing. So they're going to be battling them all the time. Yada yada. Woo, woo, woo. One more time just for you, man. All right, Phil. Who's going to run the kicks back? Question mark. Seems to me special teams is now more than an afterthought. No, I agree. I think you've got a couple guys who are going to be battling it out. I don't think Khalif Raymond's going to be out there. I think just because your wide receiver depth, you're going to want to keep him out there. But Baki, I think, would be an upper, somebody of interest out there. Maybe CJ Moore. I don't know. But I do wonder if he's even going to make the team. I don't know. I'll let those things play themselves out. But I think you've got a couple options out there that are far enough down the depth chart where you don't worry about exposing them. Big D, what is the defensive rookie of the year? There you go. Yeah, good question. Very good question. I probably should have said that earlier. So thanks for that, D. Yada, yada. By the way, Coach, good morning, Coach. Good morning to you too, Yada. And hopefully you're having a great morning. Bo, Trott's brother, could be. There you go. Yeah, defensive rookie of the year. Yes, correct. Troy, yes. Hey, don't let that city fall. All right, Patrick, Big D, defensive rookie of the year. Correct, Big D. Thank you, guys. Phil, will Stephen Gilmore even make the team this year? I mean, it is a good question. It's going to come down to, hey, who's going to be the top 6 or 7 guys in that secondary? Because those are going to be the guys who are going to stick around. The safeties, I do think you're going to give yourself some more flexibility because, again, so many of the safeties and the corners are going to be interchangeable. You might be able to keep a few extra guys because of it. Maybe a few less in one position, a few more in the other position, because ultimately I think there's not going to be a difference between them for the vast majority of plays. But yeah, it's his job to lose, I'd say, and this preseason football is going to be huge for him. So keep an eye on him. All right, Motown Green Sanitation's Coach Duke Crew, Lions rule, Bears rule. Every day, man. I concur. Let's see, Mutzgar Phil, any doubt that he makes 53-man roster at least for week 1 without any injuries? Yes, they could let him go and then pick him back up where they don't have to fully commit to his contract for the year. So that is correct. Troy, I've never been more excited to watch our secondary. With the upgrades on the D line and the different schemes, the defense is going to open up a lot of turnover opportunities. I agree. Yeah, I think, I've talked about it for weeks. I think as aggressive as we're going to be up front and aggressive in the secondary, you are going to inevitably see some tip passes. You're going to see some quarterbacks hit as they're throwing, which throws off their passes. Because a lot of the quarterbacks do not see man-to-man the vast majority of the time, you could see a couple throws under duress that are behind. And so like we saw Brian Branch getting a couple picks against, the Saints and Kansas City Chiefs week 1, you could see a lot of those tip drill type plays. And good morning, Troy, by the way. Phil, does the kid from Grand Valley have a chance to make the team? Question mark. One of the weaknesses is the quarterback room. Hooker isn't ready. Suffield is hurt. Goff goes down. Now what? Do I think he has a chance? Some. So I'm saying there's a chance. I think Hooker is going to be fine in time. He's going through stuff that a lot of rookies go through. And to me, he really is a rookie at the quarterback spot. The Grand Valley kid, and maybe he makes it, but he's also got to be there when the preseason, training camp begins. And I'm not even sure if he'll make it that far. So hopefully he does. Hopefully he has a great go of things. Let the best person win. That's what I always say. I don't care who you are. I don't care your name or who your parents are or what your draft status was. Are you the best option for the team? And if he is, then let him ride. All right, Patrick, Phil, good question. I'm glad I don't have to decide as to who is cut this year. Yeah, there's going to be some. We all get it. This team's deep. A lot of guys are going to get cut. They're going to be picked up real quick by other NFL teams. And, hey, that's a credit to this coaching staff, the front office, for being able to acquire enough talent to make this team deep and still have 40.5 potentially in cap space available. Man, that's incredible to me. All right, Phil, agree, Motscar? Yep, Goff? Yeah, I knew we were going with that, Phil. All right, Patrick, Hooker will be fine by the start of the season. Yeah, I think so. And, again, just keep progressing. But you're also seeing some reasons why maybe some were a little overhyped on saying, hey, he's going to supplant Goff. I mean, it could happen someday, but I don't think that day is today. All right, DM5, what do you got? I was watching that Saints game from last year, up 24-7, just like at San Francisco. We barely eked that one out. Hopefully our offense sizzles and keeps a foot on the gas, learn from that lesson. Yeah, and that's where I think Ben Johnson's going to have to keep growing as a coach, is to be able to come up with more in-game adjustments quickly. The other part is, sort of like you allude to, DM5, don't ever let your foot off the gas. And I've been, as a coach, I've said that forever. And I get it's tough because sometimes humans, we innately just pull back a little bit. Yeah, we got this. Man, they're no good or whatever. If you've ever seen me coach, I would say it's fair to say I'm not a silent coach by any stretch. I'm not going to say I'm Bobby Knight where I throw stuff across the room or, anything like that, or running out of the dugout to get into the umpire's face or something like that. But I am pretty much gas to the pedal or foot to the floor all the time. And I tell any team I coach, I don't care what the sport is, until there is no time left or absolutely no opportunity left in a contest, you keep swinging, you keep going for the killer uppercut, you keep putting them down into the ground. You don't ever take that foot off the gas. If you do, you won't be here very long. So see, Phil Hooker has 0 game snaps, basically a rookie. We need a quality backup. You know what? There have been some people who have talked about that, maybe bringing in a Tannehill or somebody like that to be the backup. No, my problem is, what do you do then with Hooker? Because if you bring in Tannehill or somebody like him, he's going to take up one of those 53 spots on the roster. Now, there's no way you're going to put Hooker on the practice squad because he will get poached. So do you keep 3 quarterbacks? I don't know. I'll let the coaches worry about it, but I do get what you're saying with that. Especially if you think this is a Super Bowl season, maybe you do want a more veteran quarterback presence. I'd say Motown, Wingo is possible. McNeil replacement instead of re-signing McNeil to a massive contract next year. Could it be? Sure. Could it be? 100%. Will that be the way they go? I don't know, man. I think you look at how Brad Holmes is handling this team. I think he wants to resign his own guys and show everybody, establish a culture or trade or whatever, that you come here and play. You do right by the team. We're going to take care of you. And he is a bit of a, McNeil is a bit of a leader on the team too. So I wouldn't be in a hurry to get rid of him, but I also get what you're saying, Mitch, that, man, you can't pay everybody. And you're going to have to make some tough choices in the next couple of years. Yeah, I knew what you were going with that. All right, Phil, I am unsure if Houston, too, if he's still nursing that leg, he's going to be out or ineffective quickly. Yeah, Houston's got a lot riding on this year because, he's got a 1-year deal. He's got a reason to go out there and ball, but he does have a few more months to let things rest up. My anticipation is he's going to be fine, but hey, sometimes there are medical setbacks. Anthony, why would you get rid of McNeil when he's producing? ? I mean, that makes no sense. Yeah, I think he just means maybe from a cap standpoint, you can't keep everybody. Moonscar, wait a minute, coach. You can't teach height? No, I cannot. Weren't you considered too tall for something? Where the heck did you get that? Yeah, I'm not even going to speak on that, but yes, the one time in my life I ever heard the phrase that I was too tall. Man, that is a throwback. Yes, you've been talking to somebody. Patrick, Phil Hooker has a good touch with the different passes. He's going good pre and post snap reads. He already has thing you can't teach, so he'll be fine. Yeah, it's probably my anticipation for Hooker just needs more reps, more experience. Give him time. You're going to probably see him in each of the 3 preseason games, at least a half. I wouldn't be surprised if they played him like 3 quarters. And they do that, yeah, he will grow. Phil, what will Derek Barnes' role be? Probably the same as last year. I don't anticipate anything different, but maybe I'm wrong. I think it'll be the same. Bo instinct can't be taught. No, I agree with that. When under fire, you do what comes naturally. Yes, and I think you got a lot of guys on this team that fit that role. And a proven player, correct. Patrick, plus Hooker is smart and quick learner. Yeah, I think he's going to be fine in time. Just get him more reps, more opportunities to learn. Gary, good morning all. Grip for life, ! The rookies will be rookies until they prove it on the field. I believe you will see Davis, Mosley barring health, and Davis to start the season. Arnold is not fast. he's not as fast as some of the guys, that clock on 40 times. But again, there's a difference between sprinting speed and game speed. That's where I think he'll probably show up a little bit better, like a lot of other guys. I'm trying to think of somebody other than to use the Jerry Rice example, but there are a lot of guys in the NFL that just don't have great 40 times, like Puka Nacua. He did not have a great 40 time, similar to Jerry Rice's. But you could also say if you were to do a redraft, he'd probably be a top 10 player drafted last year. He's that good, as it turns out, but probably got missed in the draft because of his 40 time. All right, Courtney, man, getting down to 53 roster, question mark, will be a fire sale at Tiffany's. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of real good NFL dudes not playing in Detroit because they're playing somewhere else because they got cut. All right, Phil, still Hooker is a rookie with a very bad knee. He's not as ready as we hope. He might not be, but, trust in the coaching staff. If they really feel like they need to go out and get somebody else, they will. And there are some veteran quarterbacks available that we could go out and grab and acquire. All right, Motown Mitch, it's like this can't keep everyone. And if you have a choice between Hutch and McNeil, I think everyone is going to choose Hutch. If Wings takes off and plays that 3 technique, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, the good thing is Hutch has still got this can be year 3, so he's still got 2 years left because they'll pick up his 5th-year option. McNeil, since he wasn't a first rounder, does not have that, so you'll have to resign them on different years. So he should be fine. Phil, gathering parts and ideas for the Duke Crew guitar. Was hoping your daughter would be interested in drawing on it. Yeah, the problem is, Phil, she only gets here in August from New York, so she'll be here. She's, I guess the way to put it is she doesn't really understand what we're trying to ask her to do. I'll explain it to her more, but she won't be here until August. All right, Amy. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew! ! I am also impressed with Arnold. Yes, me too. We both are. He's got talent and charisma. Can't wait to watch him this year. I think he will have an amazing stats by year's end. Yeah, I think he's going to put up some real good numbers. Real good. It's Phil. Dang, dominate, classic Duke Crew. This, all the above. Mitch, what do you got? Seems to make perfect sense to me and anyone who understands the league is a crap league. Cap league. Yes, it is a cap league, not a crap league. Anthony, Arnold is what CJ Garner-Johnson wanted to be and doesn't have to talk stuff because he knows what he's about. Yeah, he's got a lot of, you can tell he's got a lot of self-confidence, a lot of inner strength. I think he's going to go out there and perform. It doesn't mean he's going to be perfect. Doesn't mean he's never going to give up a touchdown or anything, but I think you're going to see a pretty good season out of him. Anthony Grit, 100%. Phil, the Duke Crew guitar is clamped in the drilling gig. The paint and design is the question of the day. When is the barbecue? I'd say, if you guys want, I've thrown this out a couple times. September 15th, the Tampa Bay game. Maybe have the tailgate then, but let me know if that works for everybody. Moonscar Phil, you can't get something leveling bubbles and put them on the body of the guitar. Then it would look like it has some Mountain Dew flowing on it. Hey, that's an idea. Good one. Kurt Steele, what up, Duke Crew? What up, Kurt? How you doing? Let's see. JDC, Dre Frogs, Rocks. There you go. Phil, I need a graphic artist for paint, but I will do my best if no one steps up. Yeah, do your best, man. I'm not sure who to get. That's beyond my wisdom base, so somebody with more wisdom on that is going to have to help out. Broski, Kurt Steele, I see you. You unblocked Broski Bear. Hey, there you go. Ken, Kurt, what up, Doe? There you go. Bo, what do you got? Phil, how's about Silkscreen? All right, Silkscreen it is. Dominic, good morning from Texas. Good morning to you too. Broski, what is this grit that people keep dropping in the chat? Hey, it is the stuff of legends in the house of MCDC. I'd see Shane, morning. Good morning, Shane. How you doing? Anthony, oh, Lord, the troll. Oh, boy, here we go. Mow it down. Something the Bears will never understand, broski. All right, fair enough. Again, Coach, how difficult will it be for opposing quarterbacks to get their pre-snap reads if the DBs are switching roles pre-snap? That will force offenses to do quick counts. It'll be interesting, Ken, and that's a good question. If they keep switching, then I think it'll be easy to pick up what kind of defense you're in. You're man-to-man. Now, could you play man-to-man over the top? with linebackers in zone underneath. You could do that. I think they're going to mix up a lot of stuff. They're going to try to make it tough pre-snap for quarterbacks. With that being said, that's one of the strengths we had towards down the stretch is we made those changes pre-snap last second, and then we brought in exotic blitzes from different sides to catch the quarterbacks off guard. That's why you saw, Ife Melifanu and Branch catch a lot of quarterbacks from behind that were anticipating it because what the quarterbacks were reading pre-snap wasn't what was coming out of them. Also, with that type of coverage where you play man over the back end and then have the linebackers drop in zone, that's what, if you remember Thanksgiving and then the first game against the Bears, that gave Goff and Ben Johnson a lot of difficulty is they hadn't seen it yet this year. They didn't make very quick in-game adjustments, in my opinion. It took them a couple weeks to figure it out, but then when the Saints did it and a couple other teams afterwards, you could see they'd already figured out answers to it. The problem is you waited a couple of games to get those answers. That's where I think as Ben Johnson grows as a coach, gets more experience, he'll be less susceptible to some of those being caught off guard moments. All right, Kurt, hope everyone is having a good start to their week. I am, man. So just so you know, GameStop, if you're into stocks, it rocketed up from Friday's close at, I want to say, $22 and change to $47 overnight. So right before I went on air, I checked and it was at like 39. So I'm anticipating having a pretty good start to the day when the market's open in earnest. All right, and hope you're having a good day too. DM5, this is a great time to be a Lions fan. They're finally figured out how to run an organization. Think of all the time, money, and energy spent on Matt Millen. All those terrible regimes are over. Go Lions. Yeah, embrace it because you're 100% right, DM5. Everybody who watches this show, I'm going to guess, has endured a lot of downtimes, a lot of bad management, a lot of bad everything with this franchise. But you know what? Embrace this because this really does seem like we're on elite level from the top of the organization on down. So embrace it because who knows how long it will last. I'm hoping for a real long time, but as a Lions fan, I'm always a little skeptical. All right, Patrick Broski Bear. Morning, my friend. How's it going? Broski, Motown Mitch, shrimp and grits. I like those. There you go. Patrick, good morning, sir. Anthony, to you as well, Mr. Steele. Kurt, Seal, what time of the day should I start doing my show again? And whatever time you want, man. You're a legend. Everybody moves to you. So you tell all of us what you want us to do. You let me know. I would say, how about 8 o'clock, man? Go 8 to 10 or 8 to 12, man. 8 to 8. How about that? That'd probably get you some views. All right, Dan, I think Terrion Arnold will go down as one of our top first rounds for the Lions. I love Mitchell going into the draft, but the more I watch TA and listen to him, I feel like he was the right one for the Lions. Yeah, I agree. And it's no disrespect to Mitchell. I think he's going to be good. I just think for what we do, there are differences. And I think he was the right pick for us, again, based on what we're going to do on defense. All right, Amy, thank you, Coach Saban, for beginning training for I can't talk. Arnold and many of our players. Woo! All the above, Amy, and thank you for that. Let's see. Shane, have a safe day, everyone. Back at you. Hopefully you make it a great day. Anthony, 8 a.m., Mr. Steele. There you go. The people have spoken. 8 a.m. Pat, woo! Woo! Hey, Coach, how you doing, Pat? Let's see. Anthony, roll on into yours after Dan's. There you go. Yeah, start right after this one. Moonscar. Yeah, Dan, the Otsego location. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. I don't know why it's taking so long for them to fix it. Phil, Dan, hate to say it, you look old and fat. Not really. I'll take all the above, man. I'm still alive. That's a good start for me. Let's see, Joseph, have a good day, Coach and crew. Back at you. Make it a great day. Motown, come on, Phil. He picked off the amazing and unbeatable hooker for 6. Got to keep Gilmore. Yeah, there you go. Keep him, but we'll see what he does in the preseason. Phil, I hope Gilmore stays too. Yeah, I hope he ends up working out. Broski, Tyson Badgett better than Hooker? We shall see. Hooker, yeah, Williams better than Hooker better than Williams. We'll go with that. We'll wait and see. Both guys are basically rookies. All right, DM5, do you ever worry about guys we cut, go to competition, expose our playbook? can't worry about it, man. You can't keep somebody because you're afraid that you're going to talk, because then you're going to get rid of somebody you really didn't like. Somebody might talk. You got to turn in all your materials. Could something get out? It's all going to get out. I would say there are some details that could get out that could be sensitive, but it's also on the coaching staff to address that ahead of time. Is what it is. All right, Phil, Lions must play 4 quarters. I agree. Yeah, no more, 75% of the game. All right, Motown, except for the fingernail painting and crying. All right. Phil, do teams grab players just to swipe the playbook? I would say there could be a strong correlation to when somebody gets put on the practice squad, maybe a week or two before a team plays the team that released said player that was picked up. So I usually pay attention to that. Like, who has this guy played for before? Can he give us any insights? And I'm sure that does happen a lot more than people think. All right, Ken, pretty sure most of the playbook is installed after the 53-man and roster is set, or am I wrong? No, I would say about 50% of it is put in during the establishment of the team, and then the rest of it coming along. What's one of the advantages the Lions will have is that there's probably not going to be a huge amount of change on offense or defense. There could be some terminology changes or a few new nuances, but at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff's going to be the same that Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn want to run, and you have so many guys back from the prior couple seasons that, hey, it's just refresher courses for a lot of them. So new guys will have to be brought up to speed, but there's not other than the rookie class, there's not a ton of new guys. All right, Broski, this isn't Tennessee. Hooker not running a gimmick offense anymore. No, he's not, but we'll see what he does. All right, Motown, this is not USC where Williams can cry and whine his way into making people believe he is good despite not being able to win. Yeah, I got to be careful here because I'm a USC fan, but hey, we'll see what Williams does. All right, Joseph Hooker is really not going to be a rookie, though, with his age. He'll be a rookie as far as his NFL experience, but you're right, not in regards to his age. But he's actually about the same age that Kurt Warner, Warren Moon. Actually, he might be a little bit younger than Warren Moon. And don't hold me to this. I'm doing it off my head here. But there have been some guys that came in the league that were actually older than him and started their historic Hall of Fame careers. So, keep that in mind too. Broski, Houston has legs. I thought he was just a stubby fire hydrant. He is, man. But remember, he would run down Justin Fields from behind. So he might have short, stubby legs or whatever, but those legs are motoring. All right, David, good morning, Duke Crew. How much do you think McNeil will cost? Oh, boy. Let's see what kind of year he has, and then I'll be able to give you a better answer. But I think he's going to have a pretty good year. Let's see. Broski, Motown Mitch, thanks for explaining grit earlier. Correct. Big Daz, good morning, Dan, the Duke Crew. I still think we need another defensive end opposite Hutch. Maybe Houston is the answer. I believe Houston is the answer. It always is. I just think we need a bigger guy. Yeah, I think we've got some good guys out there, but we'll see what the team ends up doing. Phil, Dan, too tall, Thornton. Yeah, only heard that once in my life, and I'm not addressing that on air. All right, let's see. Phil, nice fish, Gary. There you go. William, Arnold's starting at cornerback too. I think, there could be a real good opportunity for that. Motown, Hooker has grit. Williams got tears. All right. Broski, Phil, good point about Hooker. All right. Motown, what do you got? Not just grit, but True Grit. There you go. The good movie, by the way, True Grit. Rocky, starting to sound like the Lions fans' favorite player is the backup quarterback again. And for sure, it was for most of the 60s, 70s, and so forth. Yeah. The most popular guy in a lot of teams is the backup quarterback, especially with Lions. Broski, Motown Mitch, Hooker like shrimps and grits. Nice. It would be hilarious if Hooker had to start for the Thanksgiving game. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Phil, what's up with GameStop? It's currently rocketing, at least before I came on air. It's rocketing on up again. All right, see, Patrick Broski Bear, yes, as Hooker tears and bears up and spanks them like a 4-year-old at Kmart. All right, Kmart, now that's a throwback. Motown, see something are just too complicated for Bears fans. It's okay, we still love you, Broski. Yes, we all love Broski. Phil, a new channel for Dan, Duke Crew Day Trade. Duke, yeah, I'll see what I can do on that, Phil. I'll see what I can do. Broski, Patrick, you'd have Child Protective Services called on you these days. As long as Hooker doesn't tear up his leg up again. Yes, as long as he doesn't. Phil, anytime we can grab a player before Green Bay is okay with me, and it might happen about 2 weeks ahead of time. Broski, Motown Mitch, you can't explain grit other than trip and grits. All right. Let's see, Moonscar. So if I got to put some money in GameStop today, is going to go up or tank because I invested? I would not be buying at this point. I'd be waiting for about a 23% pullback at this point. But GameStop, if you aren't a proficient day trader, I wouldn't be telling anybody to touch it. If you want to just throw $100 into it and say, hey, I don't care what happens to $100, then wait and see what happens. Yeah, we'll go with that. And I do not give financial advice or any kind of clarity on that. I am just some crazy dude on YouTube telling you what I am going to be doing, not telling you what to do. I have to legally say that. Let's see, Broski. Apparently, Phil likes guitars. He does. He does very much so. Broski Bear, Patrick, is that what grit is referring to? Question mark. I've seen the movie. All right. Don, skip the Bears. Hey, good morning, Donnie Burr. Phil, do the OCs spend the offseason thinking up new schemes? They do. They do. The same with the defensive coordinators. All coordinators, they do, because they're looking for advantages. All right, guys, it is, hold on, I'll get one or two more in since I see some new people. Max, slowly, steadily bring TA in. Correct. Let's see if I see anybody else new in here, maybe less. All right, guys, it's about that time for me to get on out of here. I got to head on over to the gym, get the morning dew, all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 6,800. Also, if you would be so kind, take a moment of time on your day and hit the thumbs up button. Helps the channel out a lot. If there is some breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. If not, take care. See the rest of you at the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.